Hey guys, Marsingin here, bringing you another Dragon Ball Z Dokkan battle video. And so with the maintenance ending and all of the stuff being downloaded into the files, we have confirmation that there is indeed a world tournament starting tomorrow. I told you guys this, I said there's a couple of clues, right? But the main one being the fact that the Genius Bulma Battle Prep started earlier this week, and that event always comes back when there's a world tournament. So I'm not going to call them out by name, but shout out to the person who commented on one of my videos either yesterday or the day before saying that there won't be a world tournament tomorrow because it doesn't make any sense. But yeah, there you go. World tournament happening tomorrow. Everybody's favourite game mode. Unfortunately, this is a weekend where I am working, so won't be able to do any 12-hour challenge streams or anything like we did last time, but obviously I will be grinding away at work. So with this world tournament, obviously the number is different from the one on JP, but it's the same set of units. These units are in the files. So we're getting the Trunks from End of Z, who is essentially the counterpart to the Goten that we got from last time. We're also getting the Awakening for the STR base form Goku Black, and then this TEQ Shen is being added to the Dragon Ball Saga banner, which, you know, that banner is terrible, very difficult to even get SSRs. I mean, World Tournament needs a revamp in general, but I hate that banner so much. The fact you can only do singles because it's the two different types of tickets is super, super annoying. It makes summoning on that banner a massive pain. And you're just doing multiple singles over and over again and potentially not even pulling SSRs. So, not a fun banner to summon on, really, unfortunately. But it is what it is. So, in terms of the new Trunks, I always do these videos when the World Tournament's going to come out, talking about whether or not the unit is worth grinding for. Now, remember, this has been the case for a while now. I feel like this is one of those things, when you've been playing the game for ages, like I have, they changed this a long time ago, but I feel like every World Tournament I mention the fact that they changed it. But for some of you guys, you've probably only been playing it since that change was even made. But when it comes to the missions for the World Tournament, once you have scored 23 million points in total, you get a guaranteed copy of Trunks that is given out straight away, which is good, because usually you had to wait for the World Tournament rewards to get any copies of the card. So if you want to mess around and try them out at 55%, you get that one copy as soon as you get to 23 million points. So what that means is, if you just want to get enough copies to be able to rainbow him, which means you have to obviously get 4 more to open all the paths, that means you only need to finish, I say only, you only need to finish in the top 2,000. Because the 1001 to 2000 bracket gives you 4 extra copies of the card, and obviously you can use them to open up his paths. He does have a farmable super attack. I'll mention that when we go over the actual unit details. So yeah, if you want to rainbow him, you've got to finish in the top 2,000 in order to pull those 4 extra copies. Now, usually, even when I'm not going crazy hard, I always try and aim for the top 1,000, because this is the first bracket that actually gives you orbs. And back in the day, before they added that mission, you had to get 5 copies, obviously, to get, open all the paths. So this was like the main goal that you always used to go for. So it's still the one that I like to aim for, because, like I say, it's the one that gives you the, actually starts giving you some orbs. And then, of course, the higher brackets you go above that, the more copies of him you get and the more orbs you get. So usually, as long as it's not like, especially because I'm working, so I can kind of just grind all day, I try and aim for the top 500. Would be nice to break top 200, but for most people, if you want to even get into the top 200, it's kind of one of those like sweaty, you have to play all weekend non-stop kind of things, which I don't know if I will be doing that, but probably aim for the top 500, top 1,000 minimum. But yeah, if you want to get all the copies to actually be able to rainbow him, you have to get in the top 2,000. So what's this one here? Oh yeah, I brought the missions up on a separate tab. So this is the Trunks. Very weird name in terms of the translation. The actual title of the card: Return to the Front with Plenty of Space. Saying what? Okay. But yeah, this is End of Z Trunks. So He's a tech lead for 2 key and 50%. I mean, these World Tournament units is obviously not even a TUR, so we wouldn't expect a good leader skill. But he raises defense of 1 turn and does supreme damage to the enemy. He changes int key spheres to tech, and then he gets attack and defense 20% per key sphere obtained. I've talked about this before, but 20% per orb is kind of becoming a standard thing now, but that's a pretty decent amount of attack and defense per orb, especially when you are creating orbs yourself, which is really good. He also gets an extra 5% per key sphere obtained with another Bond of Friendship ally attacking in the same turn, which makes sense because you're probably going to run him with the Goten that he came out with, you know, the previous World Tournament reward. So 25% per orb obtained is pretty good when on a good turn for an orb changer you can easily pick up like 8, 9, 10 orbs. So that's going to give him a pretty significant buff. And then he gets an additional attack and defense 100% when performing a super attack, which those on super buffs, especially for a nuker, very, very good, because he's going to be getting all those extra stats when you pick up the orbs, and then he's getting the attack and defense 100% when he performs a super, so that is pretty good. His Link, Saiyan Warrior Race, Saiyan Lineage, Cold Judgment, Royal Lineage, Shocking Speed, not bad. Little bit hurt by the fact that he doesn't have Prepared for Battle, but I guess that's a typical Trunks thing, right? Hello, AGL, Dokkan Fest Trunks. And of course, you know, he doesn't have an Awakening, so we're going to have to wait who knows how long for him to actually get a TUR. But the thing about World Tournament cards, because they have to wait so long to get an Awakening, the big question is, are they good as an SSR? And I mean, this guy seems decent, but when you think about the character that he is and the teams that he's on, like, there's obviously better Trunkses. When it comes to, like, Majin Vegeta's team where you want to run a Trunks to get his intro animation, this guy isn't really anything special. Plus, if you're running him on a team with a bunch of Vegetas, you're not going to have another Bond of Friendship ally on the turn with him. Hybrid Saiyans obviously has a ton of top tier choices. I mean, he's on the World Tournament category, but that category is essentially dead, especially on Global at the moment. They do consider that end part of Z as Majin Buu Saga, apparently, but again, that is another very stacked team. So the problem with this guy, realistically, is that I just don't see any places that you would be running him. But yeah, he does have a farmable super attack with the Super Strike Trunks, which I believe is... Is it STR events are available on the Thursday? I actually have the game open. Let me double check. Because that means you actually can farm his super attack today. I'm recording this right after the maintenance, though, when the game is having some weird network connection issue. But as long as that stops being a thing, you can actually farm the copies of his card for his SA today. So obviously get on that if you do plan to, even if you just want to get the one copy, farm up these extra copies of him so you can get him to SA 10. So then we have the Awakening for the STR Goku Black. I had really high hopes for this guy, but I remember when he came out on JP, people not being super impressed with him. But let's have a look at what he does. So Extreme STR 3 key 90%. He greatly raises attack and defense for 1 turn, does supreme damage to the enemy, and lowers attack and defense. So pretty good super attack effects. Obviously you want to go full additional, not just for the stat raise, but the lowering attack for Super Battle Road is obviously good. And then he has attack and defense 100%. He gets an additional defense 20% with each attack received up to 100%. Future Saga allies, key 1, attack 20% and defense 10%, and then same again for Time Traveler allies. So obviously if they're on both categories, it's 40% attack, 20% defense and 2 key, and then he gets an additional 50% attack when attacking a superclass enemy. Now the reason why I think this unit is not great, or why it was badly received, is these units that need to build up by being hit, but they don't have any extra defensive tech. So he doesn't have guard, doesn't have damage reduction, but he needs to be hit 5 times in order for him to be fully built up. The problem is, nowadays, like back in the day when we just had the Legendary Vegeta event, Legendary Goku event, Infinite Dragon Ball History, getting hit 5 times in the first couple of turns, not really a huge issue. Whereas now, if we're talking about the endgame content like red zone stages and stuff like that, you don't really want to be getting hit 5 times, even in the first phase by some of these bosses, when your starting defense is going to be as low as it is. Like once he's taken the 5 hits, it'll be interesting to see what his stats are, especially after a super. After a double super, he could actually have quite a respectable amount of defense, but that's when he's fully built up, which means he has to get hit 5 times. So in certain red zone stages where you have the chance to have like a you know, physical enemy, then it might not be so bad. But it'll be interesting to see whether this guy is actually that usable or not. So we will have to see, I guess, once we try him out in game. Obviously on global, I don't think he's on any 200% leads as of yet. But it'll be interesting to see how good he is. A good base form Goku Black is always good for the Extreme Realm of Gods team. And then we have this Shen unit who's going to be on the World Tournament banners. I mean, most people probably won't even ever get this unit. I think there's still one Dragon Ball Saga SSR that I don't actually have. But he raises attack and defense in 1 turn, supreme damage, high chance to stun, which is pretty good. Attack and defense 100%, seals the enemy, attacked enemy super attack, medium chance to dodge 20% and attack and defense 100% as the first attacker in the turn, and then an additional attack 100% within the same turn after evading. So pretty interesting. If you put him in slot 1, he has that medium chance to dodge and then gets an extra 20%. I don't know if this is worded, this is the new type of wording or not, because I don't know if he gets this extra 20% until he's already attacked, which then means he only has a 30% chance to dodge in slot 1, which could make him a little bit of a liability, especially in the more difficult content. But like I say, most people are probably never even going to get this unit anyway, and he doesn't have an awakening. If I do manage to get him, I mean, he's on World Tournament and Realm of Gods, because for those of you who don't know, this is Kami in disguise. So, I mean, yeah, I can't see much use for this guy, but the Goku Black Awakening is interesting. Trunks is decent considering he's just an SSR. So let me know what you guys think down below in the comment section. Are you going to be playing the World Tournament? Are you going to be going for one of these top rankings? Or are you just going to get your 23 million points here, get your 1 copy of Trunks, and then be done? Let me know down below in the comment section. So that is going to be it for the video, guys. This has been the Master Ningen. Smash that like button, subscribe to the channel if you are new. Check out the links down below for the Discord and the merch store, and I will see you all again soon. Have a good one.